Hello students, welcome back to YouTube channel of Saint Wilfred College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Today we are going to see again about heterocyclic chemistry. In that first we are going for the content. Okay. In content we are going to see reactions, after that synthesis of some heterocyclic compounds. So let's start with heterocyclic chemistry. First of all, what is heterocyclic chemistry? As we all know that it is a branch of organic chemistry. Okay, it will always deals with synthesis, after that properties and applications of some heterocycles. These heterocycles are nothing but nitrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. There are some common heteroatoms. About 50% of a known organic compounds are heterocyclic, and the number is increasing rapidly. After that, this heterocyclic chemistry is so vast. Heterocyclic compounds have a wide range of applications. They are predominantly used as a pharmaceuticals. After that, we can use them in a, agrochemicals. We are using them to form some products. After that, they are used as a dyes, after that as a pigment, brighters, as an antioxidant, corrosion inhibitors, and food additives. Okay. Next one is they are also used as a intermediate in some organic synthesis reaction. Uh, Heterocyclic compounds occur widely in nature and in variety of a non-naturally occurring compound. Heterocyclic compounds are essential to life. Okay. So let's start with the next, that is isoxazole. Okay. In isoxazole, you are able to see that is it contains an five-membered heterocyclic ring containing two heteroatoms. Okay. In isoxazole, this one is a five-membered heterocyclic ring containing two heterocycles. First one is the oxygen atom and second one is the nitrogen atom. Oxygen atom at a one position and nitrogen at a second position. After that, it contains a furan type of oxygen at one position. As we all know that furan contains five-membered cyclic ring, and there is only one heteroatom, that is oxygen at the first position. And in pyridine, there is a nitrogen atom at the second position. So it is nothing but an structure of a isoxazole. In isoxazole, what happens? There are two heteroatoms which are adjacent to each other, and because of that their reactivity is less, because the both oxygen and nitrogen both are the electronegative atom, and because of that the reactivity of the whole compound is decreases. So we can say that they are less reactive. Their boiling point is always 95 degrees Celsius. It is in a liquid form. After that, there is a no hydrogen bonding present in isoxazole. After that, it is weak base. Its pKb value is 1.3. No aromaticity because electronegativity factors, because there are two electronegative atoms, right? That is nitrogen and oxygen. Because of that, aromaticity is decreases and there is a no aromaticity present. So we can say that isoxazole is not an aromatic compound. After that, isoxazole is considerably less aromatic than five-membered heterocyclic, including oxazole and furan. After that, we are going for the substitution reaction. When we are going to react that isoxazole with any electrophilic compound or electrophiles, so that electrophilic substitution will take place at the fourth position. And if we react that isoxazole with any nucleophilic reagent, so nucleophilic substitution take place at the fifth position. Okay. After that, due to low reactivity, electrophilic addition is not possible. So electrophilic addition reaction will not take place in isoxazole. After that, these are some reactions. In that, first we are going to see our there is one substituted isoxazole. We can call it as a 5-methyl isoxazole. 5 because of on the fifth number of carbon atom there is one methyl group, so we are going to call it as a 5-methyl isoxazole. After that, we are adding two reagent, that is HNO3, means nitric acid, and H2SO4 is nothing but your sulfuric acid. Okay, so nitric acid and sulfuric acid, it is used in the nitration reaction, right? This one is this prepare one nitrating mixture which will give us a one electrophile which is a NO2. Okay, so it is an electrophilic substitution reaction, and as we see that electrophilic substitution reaction will take place at the fourth number of carbon atoms. So the nitro group, which is our electrophile, it will attack on the fourth number of carbon atom, and we will finally get this structure. Okay, its name will be 5 methyl. After that 4 nitro. Okay, wait, yeah, what will happen at here? The first methyl will be there, after that nitro will be there. So 5 methyl, 4 nitro, and the last parent structure is isoxazole. So its name will be 5 methyl 4 nitro isoxazole. After that, next reaction is second reaction. It contains reagent is a NBS, that is N-bromosuccinimide. It is nothing but an reagent which will add a bromine compound in our main compound. Okay, so bromine will be added here. First, this one is our isoxazole. Okay, after that we are going to add this reagent which will add bromine atom. Bromine will play a role of an electrophile here. Okay, so Br will be in the form of a positive, Br positive. Okay, so that electrophile will attack on the fourth number of carbon atom. As we said that isoxazole, in isoxazole that electrophilic reagent or electrophiles will attack on the fourth number of carbon atoms. So bromine from this NBS will attack on the fourth number of carbon atoms. So finally we will get our compound which name will be 4-bromo isoxazole. Okay. Next one, third reaction, we are again going to use our next reagent, that is ClHSO4. It is nothing but an sulfonation reaction. Okay, addition of a sulfuric group will take place. So it is nothing but an sulfonation reaction, and it is an sulfone reagent. Okay. Okay, let's see first reactant. In reactant, there is one phenyl group which is attached at the fifth number of carbon atom as HSO4. Okay, it will be an our electrophile, so it will attack on the fourth number of carbon atom, and our this reactant, which name will be 1-phenyl isoxazole, will convert it to the product which name will be 1-phenyl 2-sulfone isoxazole. So finally we will get a reaction, and all these three reaction are electrophilic substitution reaction, because all the reagent prepare a reactant, prepare a product which is an electrophile. As we said that HNO3 and H2SO4 will prepare a nitrophilic reagent. After that NBS will give us a bromine, and this compound will give us a sulfone compound. So these are electrophilic substitution reaction. After that, next one is the synthesis. Okay, we are going to see mechanism for this type of reaction. First one is from nitrile oxide. We are going to take nitrile oxide. This one is our nitrile oxide compound. After that, we are going to add base in that. The main function of base is to remove a proton. Which proton it will remove? The proton which is near to electronegative atom. Okay, because it is an highly acidic hydrogen. So that base will remove this proton and this Cl. Okay, H has a positive charge, Cl has a negative charge. So this positive H and this negative Cl will attract each other, and as a HCl they will remove. That HCl will be our byproduct. Okay. After that, what happened? That when Cl is removing, when Cl will go, what will it do? If it will give its electron pair to this carbon atom, which is attached to the nitrogen as well as one alkyl group. So when that electron pair is shifted toward in between carbon and nitrogen, there will be the formation of a triple bond. Means that double bond is converted to triple bond after removal of a chlorine and hydrogen. That double bond will be converted to triple bond. After that, we are again adding one triple bonded compound here. What will happen? That triple bonded compound will react with this carbon atom. Okay. So when it is attacking on that carbon atom, this hydrogen atom will attack on this oxygen atom. As we know, hydrogen is positively charged, oxygen is negatively charged. So that hydrogen will attack on positive oxygen atom, and this carbon, the carbon atom here, it will attack on the this carbon atom. Okay, so we will finally get this type of compound. After that, that hydrogen atom will remove. Okay, hydrogen atom will remove, and this oxygen will attack on this carbon atom. Okay, this carbon atom which is near to triple bond. Okay, that oxygen will attack on this carbon atom, and it will form one 5-membered heterocyclic ring, which is nothing but our um, isoxazole, and it is a substituted isoxazole because here there are two methyl groups are present. Okay. After that, next one, this one was a synthesis. Next one is about thiazole. Okay, thiazole is nothing but 5-membered heterocyclic compound, right? It contains two heteroatoms. First one is the sulfur and nitrogen, and let's see the position. Sulfur will be on the first number, and nitrogen will at the third position. Okay, it's also called as a 1,3-azole compound. Okay, it contains one heteroatom in an environment similar to the pyridine. Okay, as an imine nitrogen in position of a 3, and S atom in the position of a thiophene, which is present at the position number 1. Thiazole is always a liquid compound. Its boiling point is 177 degrees Celsius. After that, it is a weak base. pKa value will be its 2.5. After that, it shows some aromatic character. It is less reactive than imidazole, but more reactive than oxazole. Electrophilic attack will take place at only in presence of an electron donating group. From electron density, it is clear that electrophilic attack is referred as fifth position carbon atom. Okay, and nucleophilic attack will take place at the second position of a carbon atom, which is in between the nitrogen and a sulfur. Okay, and it will always take place in presence of an electron withdrawing group. Okay, let's see the reaction. There are 3 reactions again. First, this one is our thiazole structure. Okay, when we are going to add any HX compound, X will be your halogen. Okay, so if I'm considering that X is nothing but an Cl. Okay, then what happens whenever this type of reaction will form? There will be a salt formation. That H will attack on this nitrogen atom. Okay, that as we know, Cl is nothing but your negatively charged. Halogens are negatively charged. So negative will repel each other, and this hydrogen, which is a positively charged, it will react directly with the nitrogen, and it will form this positive charge. This positive charge denote there are 4 bonds. The valency of nitrogen atom is actually a 3, right? It will only prefer 3 bonds, but here we can see that there are 4 bonds, and only because of that there is a positive charge on nitrogen, and this type of compound are called as a salt compound. Okay, next, second reaction. Again, our reactant is a thiazole. After that, we are going to add methyl iodide in that, and this reaction will take place at a room temperature. When we are going to add this methyl iodide, okay. So first, if we go for the this reaction, then the bond breaking will take place in between CH3 and I. And as we know, I is nothing but your halogen atom, and halogen atom always have a negatively charged. So I will remove as a negative form, and CH3, which is a methyl group, which will have a positive charge. So positively charged methyl atom will be attracted by this nitrogen atom, which is a negatively charged. So that methyl group will attack on this nitrogen atom, which is negatively charged. Again, there will be the formation of a salt. Salt formation will take place here. It will be a I, and this reaction will take place at a room temperature. After that, next third reaction. Again, we have our reactant, that is a thiazole. This reaction will take place in presence of Olen and H2SO4. We are adding H2SO4 reaction. That means it is a sulfonation reaction. Sulfonation reaction means addition of a sulfone group will take place. Okay, and sulfone. As we see, sulfone is nothing but your electrophiles. Okay, and as we discussed, that electrophilic attack will take place at the 5th number of carbon atoms. So that SO3H will attack on the 5th number of carbon atom. So finally we will get this compound. Next reaction again, there is one substituted thiazole, okay, in presence of H2SO4 and HNO3 is nothing but an nitrating mixture. We will get one electrophile, which one will be a nitro group, okay. So that nitro group is nothing but an your electrophile, and as we discussed that electrophilic substitution reaction is always take place at a fifth position in thiazole. So that nitro group will attack at fifth position in thiazole, and finally we will get our product this like this, okay. Its name will be 4 methyl, after that 5 nitro thiazole, okay, and this reaction will take place at a 70 degrees Celsius. After that, next reaction, again we are going to add a bromine water in that. We have our one reactant which is 2 methyl thiazole, okay. 2 methyl thiazole when react with bromine water, it will that one bromine from this bromine water will attack on the fifth position of a carbon atom, because that bromine will possess a positive charge. It will play a role of an electrophile, and electrophilic substitution reaction will take place at the fifth number of carbon atoms. So finally we will get this product, and name of this compound will be 5 bromo, because B comes alphabetically first. So 5 bromo, after that 2 methyl thiazole. After that, next reaction, we are going to use the reagent, that is the NaOMe, okay. And in that reaction, what will happen? It's a substitution reaction. Nitro group will remove, and OMe, that is a methoxy group, will attack on this carbon atom. This nitrogen, sodium, that is Na. Na is nothing but your sodium atom, which has a positive charge. It will attract this NO2 group toward himself. Okay. So our byproduct will be sodium nitrate, that is NaNO2, and that OMe will attack on this position of carbon atoms, second number of carbon atom. As NO2 will remove, this carbon will possess a positive charge, and this OMe, which possess a negative charge, will attack on this position. So finally we will get our product, which name will be 2-methoxythiazole. Okay. Let's move further for the synthesis. Had's synthesis. Had's synthesis is nothing but an ring formation synthesis. In last, we will get a product with containing a ring and containing a heterocyclic compound. Let's see. First, we had taken one ketone compound. Again, we are again adding one second reactant. There are 2 reactants. What will happen? This carbon atom will attack on this carbon atom, and this halogen, that is X, will remove. Okay. As we know that nitrogen will always has its electron pair first, it will shift its electron pair toward this carbon atom. Because of that, there will be a double bond. You can see that there is a double bond. Okay. After that, if that double bond will form, then this double bond will break, because for the stability of this carbon atom, this carbon will possess 5 bond if this double bond will form. So we have to break this bond, this double bond. So this double bond, these electrons will attack on this carbon atom. As this electron attack on this carbon atom, the halogen atom which is present on this carbon atom will remove. Okay, as we know that halogens are very good leaving group, so halogen will remove. After that, there will be the bond formation here. As we see, there is a bond formation here, that sulfur will attack on this carbon atom, halogen will remove. Here will be a bond formation. After that, what happens? This nitrogen atom, which has an electron pair, that electron pair will attack on the carbonyl carbon, which is a most electropositive center. Nitrogen is our electronegative compound, right? So its electronegative compound will attack on this electropositive center. As it attack on this bond will be shifted toward the oxygen, and oxygen will possess a electron pair. After that, this electron pair, this oxygen will be in the form of a negative charge, right? It will have a negative charge, so it will abstract this hydrogen atom. What happened? This hydrogen atom is abstracted by this oxygen atom, and formation of an alcohol takes place, that is a hydroxy compound, OH. Okay. This bond, when it is react with this carbon atom, so it is forming one bond here, one single bond. So we will get this bond. After that, this oxygen abstract this hydrogen atom, so there will be one hydroxy group. Okay, we will get a 5-membered ring here. After that, what happens? H2O group will remove. What happens? That H will remove in the form of a proton, that is H plus. It will give its bond toward here, because it is removing in the form of a plus. After that, this OH will remove, and it will remove with this bond. Okay, it will take its electron and it will remove. So OH and H, that means H2O will remove. Water molecule will leave. Water will be our byproduct. After that, there will be a bond formation because this bond is shifted toward here. So we will finally get our substituted thiazole compound. This one is nothing but a synthesis of a thiazole. After that, next one is the isothiazole. Isothiazole structure. This one is the isothiazole structure. You are able to see that there are two heteroatoms. First one is a sulfur. After that, second one is a nitrogen. These are adjacent to each other. Okay. It's also called as a 1,2-thiazole. Of course, we are going to start numbering from the sulfur. Nitrogen will have a second position. After that, third, fourth, and fifth will be the carbon's position. After that, it contains sulfurs at first position and nitrogen at the second position next to the sulfur atom. After that, we can see its reactivity, that is isothiazole is a weak base and it contains an electrophilic substitution reaction which will take place at the fourth number of carbon atom. After that, let's see reaction. In that first, our isothiazole will be there. Isothiazole will react with HNO3 and H2SO4, which is our nitrating reagent. It will give us a nitro electrophile, right? Nitro group as a electrophile. And as we know that electrophilic substitution reaction will take place at the fourth number of carbon atom. So that nitro group will attack on fourth number of carbon atom and we will get our product which is nothing but an 4-nitro isothiazole. And this reaction will take place at 116 degrees Celsius. After that, next reaction, again, we have here substituted isothiazole. It contains 3 methyl group on 3 carbon atoms. On third number, after that, fourth number and fifth number. So its name will be 3,4,5 trimethyl isothiazole. Okay. After that, we are going to add per acid in that. Per acid means we are going to add a nascent oxygen atom at here. That nascent oxygen atom will attack on the sulfur atom. It attacks on sulfur atom. So finally, we will get this type of intermediate. After that, again, we are going to add a nascent oxygen atom here. Okay. After that, what happens? Again, that nascent oxygen will attack on this sulfur atom. So finally, we will get this type of compound. Next reaction is we have 4-methyl isothiazole. If you are able to see that fourth position where our electrophilic substitution will take place is blocked by this methyl group. After that, we are going to add N-butyl lithium. N-butyl lithium, it's an reducing reagent. Okay, let's see what will happen. After that, we are again going to add I2 in that iodine. We are going to add. Okay, that iodine is nothing but your nucleophilic reagent, and nucleophilic substitution reaction will take place at the fifth number of carbon atoms. So addition of this I group, that is iodine, will take place at the fifth number of carbon atoms. So we will get a 69% of this compound and 8% of this compound. As we are adding N-butyl lithium, which is an reducing agent, it will break the reaction ring, because we know there are two electronegative atoms which are very close to each other, adjacent to each other. So this bond is always a big bond, and after addition of any reducing agent, this bond will break and we will get finally this type of compound. Okay. So, but when we are going to perform this reaction, we will get a reaction mixture in which this product will be a 69% and this product will be 8%. After that, again, we are going to add a sulfur. Okay, next reaction is sulfonation reaction. We are going to add a sulfuric group here. We are adding H2SO4 and SO3 here in presence of 150 degrees Celsius. We will get our product, which will be our 4-sulfone isothiazole, because at fourth number of position, our electrophilic reaction will take place. So sulfone group from here, it will attack on this carbon atom. After that, synthesis. We are going to do synthesis of a isothiazole from alpha amino thiazole. Okay, let's see. Here is our reactant. In that, we are going to add I2 molecule. After addition of I2 molecule, that I molecule will attack on this sulfur molecule. Okay. After that, what will happen? This electron from nitrogen atom, it will attack on this sulfur group. Okay. Here we can see that one hydrogen molecule and the second iodine molecule, it leaves. Okay, these are the leaving group of our reaction. So that I2 molecule will attack on this sulfur molecule. That is, one iodine will attack on sulfur and one iodine will remove with the hydrogen atom as a HI. HI will be our byproduct here. After that, what will happen in the next step? That nitrogen have an electron pair, so that electron pair will attack on this sulfur atom. After attacking of a sulfur atom, that iodine will remove and here bond formation will take place. Okay, if you are able to see, there is a 5-membered ring, it will form. Okay, next one we are going to remove H plus atom from this nitrogen atom. As we know that iodine is removed, but iodine will not leave as alone. It will take hydrogen atom from this nitrogen atom and it will remove as a HI again. After that, next reaction will be okay, let's see here that iodine will attack at here and after that it will remove H plus atom. So finally we will get this compound which is nothing but your isothiazole. Thank you.